How's it going, everyone? Liam Catterson here with episode number 9 of Season 3 for Jessica Jones, which is I Did Something Today, which we will be picking up from that chaotic ending shot from the last episode where Trish was looking like she's going to absolutely do in Salinger, with good reason as well, because we had a dramatic episode building up with suspense, with social media war, and then in the end, Dorothy was killed in a brutal manner as well. So it's not just the fact that Dorothy lost her life, but such vicious actions was taken in the execution of Dorothy. It was just sickening. And yeah, I honestly cannot blame Trish, but I have a feeling she's still going to be stopped. Because we've got like 5 episodes, 4 after this. So unless it's going to entail in Jess and Trish just sparring it out for these final few episodes. Because whilst they are best buddies, there's still a bit of conflict. They still have conflicting beliefs, so that could still happen. But I doubt they especially for a show that's on Netflix. Well, you never know, but I doubt they would end episode 8 on that cliffhanger, like, oh, is Salinger gonna die? It's not like it's you have to wait a week. You can watch episode 9 immediately to find out what happened. But I doubt they would end like that and have Salinger killed. But you never know. Jessica Jones could pull out it could pull out a surprise, and we could have these final few episodes be based around Trish and Jess's rivalry. But one thing is for certain, with Dorothy's death, this has the stakes are risen higher now, I feel, because Trish is now going to be on this darker path. Now she's got a more bigger reason to stop Salinger, and yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how we do handle this dark path with Trish. So, with that said, let's get on with episode number 9 of Jessica Jones. I'm looking forward to seeing how we do conclude that ending shot of last week's episode. So, with that said, let's go.
Is he dead?
Is he?
He's unconscious.
Ah, damn.
A lot of blood.
I'd say we just let it bleed.
Through 2 cops out there. They didn't see my face, but he did. If you killed him,
and now he knows.
And you're the bad guy. We're gonna get through this.
Part of me wishes that Trish finished the job. Because Trish did not... Dorothy might have been a bitch at times, but Trish still saw her as a mother.
But your mom was always proud. You are who you are because of Dorothy. I've got to give her that.
That can be true. I love how she's not just catering to Trish with words of comfort, but also keeps mentioning her mother's legacy.
Walker is an attack on you.
I know.
Do you know someone hit him back?
So he's definitely not going to get found out.
Died.
Good.
For
it was that
killing Dorothy.
She clawed half his face off with her bare hands.
Then she went easy on him.
Jones, he's going down.
To Dorothy, Walker is sickening. But there's a system in place to deal with that.
So you're going to shrug this under the rug.
Is unmask a woman guilty of theft, assault, and now attempted murder.
Bitch didn't even
Your
see the
assignment
bloody
has not changed,
injuries.
Find her. And if I have to pay that reward because my own investigator failed, we'll have a problem.
Malcolm, just leave this shithole.
Is triggered for release the second I'm arrested. You know where she'll end up. Nobody knows what happens to prisoners on the raft. Because nobody ever hears from them again.
Well, that's where you're wrong, buddy,
How
but...
do I know if anything happens to her? I swear to God, I will destroy you.
I can tell that threat is genuine as well. Ooh.
A person of empathy would get that.
I'm so sorry about Dorothy. She
See
was a
how
force.
broken she is because of what Salinger's done.
She's got no comment, asshole.
Well, that's a first.
Hey, Eric!
A clear path of entry, in and out, with no trace.
Yeah, sure.
Are you
Sure,
really
just
gonna
knock you
risk
right in the
this
front door.
with
You
the
will.
dirt you've got on
Unless
your
you wanna
shoulders?
land in prison.
Yeah.
Having dicks with every perp you ever arrested.
Now, look, lady, I got powers too. It's called a badge, and it allows me to beat the shit out of you just for that mouth, right? Hey, we're
Oh boy.
be at the lab's loading dock at 2:45.
Made the wise choice.
Stupid showing your face to me.
Had the
What the hell was that?
had the fear in him.
He's still at it. I can feel it. It's worse than before.
And there's more dirt to uncover.
Had my investigator dig into Peter. I just thought it was a stroke of luck.
She's just
When I
trying
found out he
to
was
blow
a
her out.
fraud and a cheat.
That's
I would
not
wrap my
how you
heart into
play your
death,
instruments,
But I would
Tiff.
do it again because I goddamn love you.
Love makes us do crazy things.
Truth is overrated.
I started thinking, why? Thinking about how my dad used to stay up late at night, helping Bree with her homework,
Oh my
locked
god.
in a room,
Oh no, Eric.
father-daughter time. And it'd been going on for years.
That is repulsive.
Said it wasn't my truth to tell.
You were doing the right
So that
thing.
was the first and last time I used my power for so-called good.
Because it reminds you of agony. Oh, Eric. Man, this dude deserves a... This dude deserves a...
You're breathing on me, Eddie.
I'm not breathing at all.
Jesus, what the hell did
And
you
you'd be
eat today?
dead.
What? Oh, Christ.
Oh, I'm gonna be sick.
Get
Oh,
out!
man.
I hope that piece of shit's happy. No, he will be. He'll be smug as shit. Ah, yeah, the fan. Okay. See, Jess would ace the floor is lava game. Oh my god, it's like literally Two-Face. If the CW did Two-Face. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Oh, yeah, she did take the life out of him.
In a long, agonizing list of losses.
I had to make a decision.
I do feel for Jess, but I feel for
Destroy
Trish as
him
well.
Or save you. I choose you every day.
Oh, Jess. And the emotion.
I set a murderer free.
Ma'am, please don't touch
At least she does
I
have...
just want to see her. As she was.
Jess does have that
I'll give
guilt,
you a
though.
minute.
Gotta say, I love the music. It's very somber as well, which is very appropriate. God damn, I'm just loving the emotion given off by Kristen Ritter. Like, Jess knows she fucked up,
I have
but
something for you.
A name?
she needs to
Something
create
else,
some
actually.
kind of light for Trish.
Not anymore. I quit.
You're fired.
He said he quit. He beat you. He beat you. Go. You can't fire me if I quit.
At least we're finally on the same page.
Malcolm, we've
Good on Malcolm,
been on
though.
the same page
Screw
for
this
some time
bitch.
At least trying to be a hero. While you protected a man. No, while we protected a man who carves people up for sport. And if that's what you want from me,
Spill the tea.
that's what Zaya wants from me. I'm out.
Spill that tea, Malcolm. You're
know who
doing
she
good.
is.
Oh shit.
What do you mean, gone?
Accident at the lab. Screwed by a
Bloody fans.
electric fan.
Bloody fans. Am I right, Jess?
So what's our next
Bloody fans.
There isn't one. I've been placed on leave, effective tomorrow.
Ooh.
That's bullshit.
Bodies were piling up. The department is right, this is on me.
Oh. Oh, Jess is gonna be feeling more
Take
guilt. She got, yeah, she got Costa in a lot of shit.
Jesus Christ.
Oh. Fuck. What the?
I'm Detective Amato. That's Detective Defford.
Costa was
Man, have you
better.
been drinking?
Are we judging? Are we judging?
Maybe
Seriously,
you'll be
go
sober by
away.
the time we get to the station.
Am I under arrest?
Just want to ask you a few questions.
Oh shit.
Wait, Nussbaumer is the homicide?
That's Officer Nussbaumer. 20-year decorated vet, beaten to death. We think it was personal.
What?
Can you account for your
No,
whereabouts
it
last
wouldn't
night,
be.
Miss Jones?
Oh no! What the fuck? I don't know. Eric, would he? Ah. Well, we're fucked again. So yeah, I really loved a lot of the scenes in this episode because they were greatly acted out, they were greatly worded, and it was just really there were some powerful bits throughout this episode, especially this idea on, is it always like, what is the right thing to do? Is it always does it always have to be about doing the morally right thing, or to save someone from going to jail, as Jess learned in this episode, because she didn't do what a lot of people would approve of, and even Trish lamented her for that decision. But with what's gone on this season, this question in general for this episode was like really, really prominent in my opinion, because Jess faced herself a real pickle, and now the person that she spoke to, like the officer, the corrupt officer, is who gave her that leeway to destroy the evidence, is now dead, which I felt is nice. It's like a nice deviation away from Salinger, because if you have, oh, Salinger did this, Salinger did that, Salinger did, it will get a bit predictable. So there seems to be this unknown entity, because we're led to believe it's Eric, but I don't think it is Eric. It might have something to do with Trish, but I think the Eric flashes, like, and his interactions with that officer is basically just a red herring, and we will see, well, we're going to find out in the next episode what is actually going on, but it's a nice little deviation from Salinger whilst he recovers from whilst he tries to recover from being Two-Face, basically. No, but it was really good because well, I do feel like the fact that we have a few more episodes left was an excuse basically for Trish not to kill Salinger, because he should be dead basically for what he did. But I do like how he had a small role in this episode, like from the elevator and whilst he was recovering from those they weren't kidding about the vicious scars on his face. But I really liked the small interaction between him and Jessica, which I'll get to in a minute, because Kristen Ritter is a phenomenal actress. Not the fact that he had a small role but created a big fracture for our heroes was really well done, in my opinion, because we had Jess, who had to choose between locking Salinger up and him taking Trish with him, because he had that picture on standby ready to release, or compromise the evidence that he was heavily linked to, which Jess chose the latter. Problem: now that Hogarth is chomping at the bit to release information about who this new vigilante is, Jess is gonna feel like she compromised. There's gonna be more guilt that is currently on Jess's shoulders, which is the fact that I compromised this case all for nothing because Hogarth exists. So yeah, I'm really interested to go into that mindset. But I liked how Trish was ready to take the rap and go to jail, so long as Salinger got jail time as well. Because I mean, of course, the fact that her mother died did push this whole situation, because she got herself her first instinct was to go to Salinger and beat the crap out of him, which Salinger did not expect. But I don't think it's a case of selfishness. If anything, Jess and Trish kind of swapped roles today. Not to say what Jess did was to the point where I hate what Jess did, because I can understand why Trish is upset with what Jess had to do. She knew the risk, and she was ready to take them. She wanted to get justice. And she extracted her own bit of revenge, and she said, fine, I'll go to jail so long as this arsehole comes with me. So yeah, I did like how Trish was willing to get herself locked up, and Jess was the one to make the difficult call. Do I because I say there's that swap roles where Trish is normally selfish and Jess attains that in a sense. I wouldn't call it fully selfish, because like I said, I understand why Jess did what she had to do. It's because she has, if Trish goes to jail, she has nobody left, and she faces herself in a really compromising spot. And all of this season, Jess has tried to find a better way for Trish, from her keeping out of Salinger's her hero life being kept out of the public eye to and to now this. She's always tried to find a better way for Trish, because at the end of the day they're sisters. But yeah, I cannot blame Trish for being a bit upset with what Jess had to do, but I can't blame Jess at the same time as well. Eric as well, I felt so bad for him, when he went into that discussion, because he did show up in this episode. But yeah, we had him confront that officer because he had a read on him before. He knew he was doing shady stuff. He knew exactly what it was. But when he confronted him again, this time with Jess wanting to get access to the lab, his head pains was even worse. So there was more on his conscience. So I can understand why your first thought is Eric must have done something to that officer, because now he's dead, because his head pains are worse. So obviously he didn't listen. but also we went into a really deep story about Eric and how the only right action he did was uh, basically getting his dad into trouble because of the fact that um, he and Brianna had a thing, and that also caused the suicide of his mother. And I did love how comforting Jess was in that story. She was listening. Jess really like there's quite a bit to talk about Jess in this episode alone, but I did love how comforting and how there she was for him. And it's so funny because there's a difference to Jess's actions, because what Jess did, I think a lot of us can agree, wasn't really the right thing to do. But one thing that both Eric and Jess can take from their actions with Eric's case with his father and Brianna's situation and what Jess did with the laboratory with the evidence, they both carried that sense of guilt. So whereas they had different, whereas their intentions might be looked at differently, like I can understand why Eric did what he had to do, and Jess didn't do the right thing, in my opinion. They both do still have that guilt. I love how that opposite kind of worked when, because they were outside the lab before Jess was ready to sabotage the evidence. But yeah, I really loved how they went in opposite directions, but still had that same feeling of guilt. So yeah, but I don't know how deep the story does go with the father and Brianna and Eric telling all. So I'm not so sure if Eric had a talk with Brianna before revealing it all, but I do kind of sympathize. I do totally sympathize with Eric, because to acknowledge that situation is really heartbreaking and it's really shitty. So, yeah, I felt so much for Eric when he went into his story. But yeah, I want to talk about Jess as well, because I really loved how vulnerable Jess was emotionally in this episode. You could see, like, Kristen Ritter's portrayal of pain and agony in this episode shone. And I don't know, I feel like she doesn't get enough appreciation for her incredible acting, but the way she portrayed that pain and hurt all throughout that episode, from comforting Trish to that feeling of guilt from sabotaging the evidence, which would further continue with her encounter with Costa. It was just really incredible, and I just love her so much. Like, there was times like when she confronted Trish and told her that, yeah, I sabotaged the evidence. You could see the hurt. She was not proud of what she was doing, but you could see, like, I was just staring into Kristen's eyes and seeing how she was ready to break. And I really loved Jessica's care and need for Trish as well, because she needed Trish in her life, as well as her care, because we see a side of Jessica that we don't really get to see, and that is her heartache. So I really appreciated that so much about Jessica so much, like that pain that you can see on Jessica's face, because she did grow up with Dorothy, so she not as much as Trish, obviously, but she does feel it herself. But not just that, but she feels like she's partly responsible for what Trish has lost, which plays on to that parallel about Trish killing Alyssa, and Jess feeling that responsibility for what's happened to Dorothy. But yeah, I really love the Costa and Jess relationship as well. It's so beautiful. Like I said, Jess feeling like shit that Costa got let go. But their relationship is so beautiful to see, especially when he was encouraging Jess. He was encouraging Trish on beating the shit out of Salinger, because he knows that Salinger is a piece of shit, but he can't legally put him away yet until evidence says otherwise, but it was still really good to see their, like, they even acknowledged each other as friends, which was heartwarming. But yeah, it was really beautiful to see Jess in this episode, like her emotions, her heartache, everything about Jessica in this episode was just mesmerizing to watch. And like I said, Kristen Ritter did brilliantly in that portrayal of agony that she presented. So I really enjoyed her character so much, as well as a lot of her a lot of the scenes that she was involved with, from her comforting Eric to her and Trisha scenes all throughout this episode, because it was the fallout of what happened to Dorothy. We also had Hogarth's story as well, where she was where Kif was reintroduced, and we had Hogarth basically declaring her love, and there was some I felt like there was some genuine emotions coming off Hogarth with that scene of and Kif just trying to blur out her admission with the keys and the drums. It was just it was fun stuff to see. But yeah, Kif's got a situation. She needs Hogarth, and problem solved for Hogarth's living on cloud 9, I think that's the saying, because her firm is showing a bit of strength again, and now she's got Kif involved once more. So it's kind of a win for Hogarth, as well as the fact that she's now found out who the vigilante is, because she's very perceptive, and it's like frustrating, because we're not currently allies with Hogarth at the minute, especially since she had this mindset of basically saying if a murderer mutilates someone, it's fine as long as it bodes well for our business, because that's why she sided with Salinger in the first place. But if someone wants to play vigilante, fuck that shit. So it's that selfishness from Hogarth, though. So it's no surprise that she is sweeping what Salinger did under the rug. And her eyes are lighting on fire with the whole vigilante situation going on. But I gotta say, props to Malcolm for standing up against Hogarth and breaking the shackles that were restricting him from feeling good and feeling that he was doing the right thing. It was really good, because this was tipping point for, like, if anything, there was a lot of tense moments where Malcolm had to take Hogarth's bullshit. But this was tipping point, and I really loved how Malcolm stood up against Hogarth. He said, "I quit first." Hogarth said, "You can't quit me. You can't fire me if I quit." So, yeah, but gotta appreciate Malcolm for standing up and taking no more of this shit. But yeah, it was a really good episode with some incredible scenes and some incredible acting, and I just really appreciated this story, especially the fallout, especially how much more compromising Jess was feeling in this episode. So it was a really stellar episode indeed. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check my videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You can also subscribe to my media feeds and channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care. And I will see you guys next time. Toodles!